Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how to survive a paranormal event, and these guys actually summon a ghost. Who are you in touch with? Name someone. The words barely out, the board glided leisurely to the letters. Oh my goodness, it's D-E-A-T-H, and then the response from the deceased wife starts accelerating. With a bang, they all hurried into a room, but the excitement on the main character's face was impossible to hide. No doubt, everything happening in this graveyard encounter is real, but it didn't last long before the police caught them and were ready to send them to meet their old friends. Ellie begged him to let them slide, at least to retrieve their camera, but the police were having none of it. Just then, footsteps echoed from upstairs. The police thought they had accomplices and went upstairs with their guns. Some felt uneasy and wanted to flee, but Ellie reminded them the equipment was school property, and they'd pay if lost. As they bickered, they rushed to check, only to find the police had disappeared. Witnessing how things go in the haunted house was unsettling, and everyone started having second thoughts, splitting into two groups. The plan was to collect the cameras and make a quick escape, but when Jerry went to grab the camera by the window, oh no. Oh my goodness, Tessa. A quarter acutness 3 currencies yn paragraff I grofared o ymalt times o gahoffi fy mat e ymalt lig Jesu lig 0 I circumflex pound scenario o grof Chinese letter plus or minus a ymalt. Tessa, come on over here. Why aren't you coming? The loud noise soon caught everyone else's attention, and when they arrived, all they found was a heap of broken glass. When they replayed the video, they discovered Jerry had met an accident, finally realizing how serious the situation was. But it was too late. They grabbed anything nearby and took off, only to find that they circled until snapping out of frozen fear, finding themselves in a nursery. The room was littered with old toys and tattered dolls, with a rocking horse oddly swaying at the end. Logically, with no one or windows, the rocking horse should be still, but it stopped abruptly as Aiko approached. Hello, I'm Caitlin. What's your name? Do you want to play a game? Or do you simply just want to chat? Suddenly the girl changed, scaring them all into a frenzy. But what's weirder was Tessa, who had just been leading the way, vanished, replaced by a wall that blocked their view. Tessa felt something was off too. The roaring around her sent her into a panic, causing her to tumble to the ground. A flashlight flew away, forcing her to grab the nearby camera to check her surroundings with the night vision. At that moment, the hallway door burst open with a series of crashes, adding to the thrill. Tessa got knocked to the ground, and something at the end of the hallway seemed to grab her leg, driving her into the dark abyss. Tessa struggled to crawl forward with all her might, but the recent events had completely broken the remaining trio. Even Ellie, who had been the most obsessed with this place, began to question her choices and even herself. Why did you call me here? Is this some twisted joke to get me killed? They couldn't just wait around to die, so they pressed on to explore the building. As they walked, they spotted a door flickering with light. Ellie carefully walked in only to find a police officer tied to a hospital bed, surrounded by disturbing equipment. Seeing this, Ellie rushed to turn off the machine, and the officer suddenly looked revived, begging for their help. But the current suddenly spiked, scaring Ellie and the others back, turning the officer into a sausage instead. The officer's sudden death solidified their resolve to escape, and the remaining 3 began to calm down and found a window at the end of the hallway. Then they began tossing out junk to let in the sunlight. Just then, a malevolent spirit lunged at Art, and they hurriedly fled. The spirit opened its huge mouth and chased them through the window. Hot pot. What's wrong with you all? After who knows how long, they found themselves spinning in circles, finally arriving at the entrance of a mental hospital. They looked back, feeling as though a barrier had been set to prevent their escape. As the spirit erupted from behind them, it seemed to self-destruct, sending the 3 of them racing toward their car. Even when they saw Joe's body plummeting, they didn't have time to rescue him and frantically drove away from that haunted place. Look at that! Did you see it? Out of the original 5 adventurers, now only 3 remain. They were in a panic all around, with only home on their minds, quickly packing their bags. They rushed into the elevator, ready to return to safety. But they didn't notice that just as the elevator doors closed, A janitor stood at the door, staring at them, as if to say, "Watch where you're going next time." He felt like they had just survived a disaster, and now it was like a dream. You can't be that disappointed, can you? Sorry, what were you trying to say? Sorry, but the tunnel outside the elevator didn't look good at all. The three of them felt their hearts stop again. This switch from barely escaping death to pure despair in hell was 100 times scarier than meeting. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe.